Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, running out of time once again, and today I'm going to be doing a very fast-paced review on the new Coldplay album, Moon Music. Now, once again, I have to do this review very fast because I have another Zoom meeting to catch right after this because I am extremely busy every day. But I just want to quickly talk about Coldplay's new album, Moon Music. Coldplay, British band fronted by the one and only Chris Martin, is back with a new album called Moon Music. And I would be lying if I had said that Coldplay is not an important band for me, because Coldplay is an essential band to my childhood slash early teenagehood, my early teen years when I was 12 years old, uh, 11 years old. I was a huge Coldplay fan. I was a ginormous Coldplay fan before I found out about Radiohead and Pink Floyd and Death Grips or whatever. Coldplay was on my loop. I listened to their music a lot when I was young. And A Rush of Blood to the Head is still one of my favorite albums of the 2000s, still to this day, and you cannot convince me otherwise. But since the early 2010s, the band Coldplay slowly evolved into something very pop oriented, and that sort of pop orientation sort of peaked in the year 2015 when they released the album A Head Full of Dreams. This is when the album is released, a lot of people are saying that A Head Full of Dreams will be the last Coldplay album, and this album also sees Coldplay's complete transition into, ooh, life is so beautiful, oh, life is so colorful kind of music. You know, the kind of ultra, super duper positive, 100% happiness kind of band. And I am not completely against that. It's just that this colorful, happy style may sound good on the first couple of listens, may sound good conceptually, but realistically, musically, it just does not have as much mood and thought as the older Coldplay music. Now, Coldplay essentially had a bit of a comeback album in the year 2019 with the album Everyday Life, which is a really interesting detour in their ultra positive trajectory. This album has some interesting Arabic, musical, and jazz influences that I really liked. And then a couple years later in 2021, they released Music of the Spheres, which continues Coldplay's trajectory into ultra happy music. And Music of the Spheres is readily their worst album to date, where they up the cheesiness, up the campiness, and musically completely dumbed down. And now in 2024, we have essentially more of the same. Once again, it's called Moon Music, so there's this space intergalactic aliens kind of theme similar to their last album, but also at the same time we have the same ultra positive life is good kind of theme, which again just did not work well for Coldplay in the last decade. So the album opens off with a title track featuring ambient artist John Hopkins, and honestly, John Hopkins on this track, his contributions are beautiful. They're beautiful, they are cinematic, very clean and sterile, but in a good way. In a way, I feel like I'm actually going into space or something. And this sort of dissolves into an intimate piano ballad where, once again, Chris Martin sort of intimately and softly sings about life and space and love and all that stuff. And then we enter the rest of the album, which is just why? How did we get here? We have the track Feels Like I'm Falling in Love, which is one word, by the way. This track just sounds like royalty free YouTube music. We have sequence drums, soft synths that are very basic, bright keyboards. It's so bland. It's such a boring track. And also, it is at this point when I realized that Coldplay is a band. They're supposed to have a drummer, a guitarist, and a bassist. Where did they all go? Or was it that in 2019 Coldplay was just Chris Martin himself? Is this a solo project now? Like, what's happening? Now we have the track We Pray, which is the only remotely interesting track on the entire album. We have busy, moody strings, subtle drum hits. This track also features like 4 other artists for some reason, one of which being Lil Sims, who is a great rapper. But Lil Sims just does not fit with the song at all. It also features Burna Boy, Ileana, and Teeny. None of those names I've really heard of. Musically, again, this track is one of the more interesting tracks here, but the La 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 ending just feels really dumb. And musically, this is the most complete track, so I'll say that this is one of the highlights on the album for me. Then we have the track Jupiter, which is a feel good guitar ballad with heavenly guitar vocals and lyrics about love and not giving up, and it's the same shit all over again. Then we have Good Feelings, which is your standard millennial pop affair with funky bass, warped vocals, and yeah, it's groovy. It's a groovy, driving song, but then again, this is also like the most basic, bland, YouTube copyright free music of all times. And then we have these lyrics. Oh, remember when we fell in love in the summer, we saw the sunshine together, we were born for each other. Like, who the hell wrote this song? Like, did Chris Martin write this, or did a teenager write this? Like, what's going on here? The chipmunk vocal duets do not help either. Then we have Rainbow Emoji. Again, with the emoji track titles, this is a 6-minute long ambient track, and once a band, Coldplay, is trying to do this outer space thing. Ooh, it's so intergalactic. Then we have IAAM, which is short for I Am a Mountain. You know, I don't know why, but a lot of artists lately in the last few years have been really, really going on this trend of making these initial titles where the song titles would be, a long phrase, but it would be turn into a bunch of initials like Cash Rules Everything Around Me, CREAM, Cream, except I Am a Mountain does not make any sense, and it's not cool. It's not Cream, okay? This is just stupid. And once again, this is a super bright, overblown piano anthem. Eterna is another sonically interesting track here where we hear Coldplay go house. We have groovy house beats on top of super sterile synths and some light guitar embellishments. And it's cool hearing Coldplay go to a more electronic direction, but it's still really safe and inoffensive for a house track. Like, I've listened to way, way, way better house music than this, but I do have to say the choir ending was quite neat. Following that, the track All My Love is an emotional piano ballad that builds to a rock explosion, and we have lyrics like, You got all my life, when it rains or pours, I'm all yours. The album ends off with One World, where we have a meandering piano ballad singing about how we all live in one world, peace, and in the end it's all love. Again, like, it's all the same. The lyrics are all the freaking same on this album. And the La 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 ending sounds like it came from a radio or something. And it ruins the cinematic vibe that the track is going for, if it was even going for that in the first place. Now, look here. I am down for positivity and happiness and stuff like that, but on this album, it just feels unearned. Love and positivity and hope just feels cheesy when it just comes out of nowhere. We haven't gone through a journey or anything. So yeah, unfortunately, this album's like their worst album so far. I'd like to say that it's a little better than Music of the Spheres, but honestly, it's like just as bad. I'm giving this album like a strong 3 out of 10. So, have you listened to the new Coldplay album? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.